Seems some of us are still having trouble making bank. I got a request for a video like this from multiple people on what to do when you get your first 100,000. So in the background right now, you guys get to see my daily routine of putting people up for auction. And then you guys will get to see me browse the market for some good deals. If this is the first time that you're watching one of my videos on how to play the HUT market, I highly recommend you start with my other videos where I go over all the tips and tricks that you need to get that first 100,000. I'm going to link those videos in the description if you want to check them out. Either way, right now I'm probably sitting on 5 million plus worth of players and coins. In top right you can see I have 800,000. If I was able to liquidate all my cards, and by that I mean just turn them into coins, I'd have a lot more giveaways for you guys. But I gotta go through the whole process of selling them all for the price that I want. Alright, let's continue on with these tips. The first thing that I want to talk about is when you get your first 100k, do not withdraw any of that money and spend it on your team. The idea is that the more money that you invest in buying players, the more money that you're gonna get out of it sooner. If you want, maybe you can grab like 5%, like a really small amount if you really need to get someone or something. But if you're cutting into your profit too much, then you're gonna just get a constant flow of money, which sounds like it could be a good thing, but it's not, because you want an exponential flow of money. So you want to gain more next week than you would this week. Turning your 100k into 200k in a week sounds nice, but what about turning 1 million into 2 million in a week? Wouldn't that be even better? So that's what you have to shoot for when you do this. You have to be disciplined. When I was starting off, I went through all of the divisions with just my under 1k squad, the budget squad. I was able to get the division title, and it was a lot of fun. For you guys, it could be a bit of a challenge, but you're not forced to play HUT online so soon if you're new to the series or just new to making coins. It wasn't until I had 25 different cards up for auction where I had a lot of extra coins that I couldn't really spend anything on. And that's when I would use those extra coins to buy people for my team. My team was probably worth like a tenth of how much coins I actually had. So keep that in mind when you're doing this. And also in real life, because in finance that's called your reinvestment rate. That's close enough. Just remember that that tip is useful in real life as well. Also with this video you guys can see what I value my players as. So if you want to buy them for less than these prices, you're welcome to. So I think that specializing in your own area of special edition cards is useful. Right now I'm searching player of the game cards, all of them under 44,444 because it's easy to type. You guys see these cards every day. I think that every special edition type of card has a minimum price that it can go at. Out of all these cards, Rust, Sevier, Petrie, and Budai are the only ones that I can't sell under 25,000. Everyone else is a go to sell at about 30,000. I stockpile these cards. Whenever one sells, I put another one right back up. I make sure that there's one on the auction house at all times. I used to put them up at 1 hour, but I got kind of lazy. Now I put them up at 6 hours, and right before I go to sleep, I set it to 12 so that when I wake up, I can put it back at 6, and so on and so forth. No, that doesn't mean there's 18 hours in a day. I usually put the 6-hour one twice. And so I go through here and just pick up any card where it will give me a 10k profit. I'm selling cards for 30k. Anything under 20k is going to be mine. If you don't have as much money, you can just go for the 5k profits. You can go for 20k and then sell it for 25k, or you can pick up anything for 25k, which is a little riskier, and sell for 30k-ish, but then you're also challenging me. Which is going to get into my next point, where you have to undercut your competition. If I'm selling for 30k, you see my card and you have that card yourself, sell it for 1k less. And make sure you have the cheapest card out there so that your card will be purchased first. Someone else might undercut you, and then you have to go back and undercut them. Just as long as you're making a good enough profit, you'll be fine. I mentioned before that new cards that just came out of packs are the cheapest. Ryan Miller here going for 10k. I suggest people jump on that. If you can buy him for under 10k, there's also Burrows. If you can get him for about 5k, buy them. Ryan Miller's a useful card with Team Wheel. Burrows, I mean, he's not great, but he's not that bad either. Someone will want him, I'm sure. If we look at someone like Shane Doan, I think his 87 overall card, there were like hundreds released. There were hundreds on the marketplace. He was going for about 5K, and now he goes for about 15K because there's not as many cards around there. And these are the type of cards that I don't really want to get into just because it kind of is a small profit margin for me. I mean, yeah, I could wait if I buy a Burrows for 5K to when he gets 15K, or Ryan Miller 10K to 20K. But it's not something that I'm interested in. The Team of the Week market is another one that I'm no longer a part of just because there's so many cards out there that I don't want to go through them all trying to find the good deals. I specialize in the places where there aren't that many cards. The same with the Team of the Week guys. You can find them for about 5K, you can sell them for 10K. If you find a decent looking card on the auction house that's going for about maybe 10K to 15K, you can try to flip it for 20K when people buy out the other cards. I don't focus too much on the cards worth over 50K just because I feel like their prices can easily plummet. It happened to me earlier when I was selling a Team of the Week Backstrom for 120K. His price went down to like 70,000 and I ended up losing some money. So unless I can sell it quickly or there aren't any on the auction house, I would avoid anything over 40,000. There's another exception when it comes to buying things over 100,000. One of the little search filters that I use is a minimum buy now of 100,000, the maximum being however much money you have. So in this case, I would use 700,000. And then I look at all the gold rare cards. I go to each time mark, that being 1 hour, 3 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, and 3 days. And I look at all the cards that were put out in the last 10 minutes. Some of them might have been there for a lot longer. If I find something that looks like a good deal, I back out real quick and look at the other cards like it to see what they go for. You might miss out on the deal if you're too slow, but oh well, it's better than buying an overpriced card. The idea is something like this will help you guys get used to the prices of higher cards. And let me tell you, there aren't that many good deals for the high-priced cards, especially now with the last price sold being removed and everyone is kind of charging the same amount. And that amount usually is an overpriced amount. A few times that I've done this, I missed out on a World Cup of Hockey Bure for 600K. Missed out a bunch of legends that I probably could have gotten for cheaper. But I did end up snagging a Movember Kucherov for about 100K, and at the time he was going for 200K, so that was a pretty good deal. Alright, anyway, but going back to the stockpiling of cards, I recommend only putting up one of a certain player card at a time, and watch how fast it sells. If it sells really fast, then you can raise the price on that card. If you're having trouble selling, like I said, you can lower the price. And this way I was able to find out that certain cards that I thought were worth 30,000 are actually worth 40,000 because people are willing to buy them. Remember those International Player of the Game cards that I told you guys to buy? I think I stockpiled on about 100 of them that I bought for 5,000 to 7,000. I expect that in about a month, those cards will go up to at least 20,000 because they're not going to be around anymore. Because they're worth way more than that, and a lot of the newer players will find out about them. Then you have rare cards such as Halloween cards, like Halloween Brizzy. I've been buying that guy for about 100K and selling him for a quick profit of 130K. When my card's the only one on the auction house, I kept bumping up the price and found out that people are willing to pay 170,000 for it. So that's when I scooped up about 4 more copies for about 120,000. I start selling for 170,000. Making bank. Hopefully you guys will be too now. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll see you next time.